I'm standing here with our men's and masters 35 and over and new IFBB pro Rudy Richards. Rudy, you've been competing probably as long as I have in the ranks. You haven't given up. You kept sticking it out. It paid off tonight. Talk to me about what's going on in that mind of yours.
Well, technically, I've been competing as long as you have. I competed against you in a couple shows.
Yeah.
But, it feels great. I'm very happy to finally get my pro card. Once you love something, it's hard to give it up. Each time you get frustrated, you say, you know what, that's going to be it. I'm done. But that love always brings you back, and that's what keeps bringing me back.
Did you stop competing for a couple of years at one point?
Yeah, I did. I started a business, moved to Florida, and you just didn't realize how much work is involved when you have your own business. So yeah, I stopped for a little bit. I stopped going on stage for a bit, but still training, still doing everything else. Yeah.
What made you say I got to get back on stage? Did you just miss it too much?
I miss it too much. It's always been in me. I've been doing it forever. And
how many years have you been competing now?
Wow, at a national level since I think the first national show I did was in '99. So that's going back 14 years. What made me want to get back to it? I just never felt that I'd reached my potential. I always felt like I could be so much better.
Were there people around you who were saying, Rudy, stop wasting your time already? You know what? Your time came and it went. And how did you deal with that mentally?
Yeah, that people are always going to say that. If you're in your prime, people are going to say that. Why are you doing this? Why not do that? Why not do this? Why not do that? But again, if you love something, you got to want to do it. You can't do it for other people. If you want to do it for you, end of the day, there's going to be naysayers no matter what it is. I'm sure whoever it is had those. I just knew what I wanted to do, have a strong mind, and
you didn't listen.
No, I didn't listen.
It's an expensive sport too.
It's a very emotionally, financially, it's a very expensive sport. Not just financially, but in every other way. We put a lot into it.
Now, a lot of people have said once Rudy gets his pro card, he'll be a good pro because you got a pro physique. You've had a pro physique probably for 10 years already. You just had trouble with the conditioning aspect of it.
Yeah.
Do you think now that you will move on immediately into the pro ranks and try to get your feet wet?
Yeah, I will. And I think it's one of those things. I'm a big boxing fan. I remember it was George Foreman or someone saying, once you win the belt, you become a better fighter because you have the confidence or whatever. Not that I want a belt, but knowing that I'm stepping up to another level. I can't bring the BS conditioning I did back in the days. I think earlier on I would get away with my shape, my structure.
Would you cheat? On the diet?
I didn't this time. I think I had.
But in the past, I'm saying.
Yeah, in the past. Well, it was almost like dieting was cheating.
So you were letting guys beat you who really had no business beating you.
I would definitely say that. There are guys who, I would beat routinely, even earlier on in my career, that would later on come back and beat me. And I'm like, not to be arrogant, but I know I'm better than them, but it's just hard work. They worked harder than I did.
You want it more than ever now?
I definitely want it more than ever. This is the not, I would say, the strictest of diet, but not the hardest of diet, because when you get in that mind frame and you want something, it becomes easier. Not that I didn't want it before, it was just always making an excuse. Now it's like, you know what, I'm getting older. I see a lot of guys come and left, guys behind me come and jump ahead of me, and it gets to a point where you can't knock on the door forever.
Well, I'd love to see you at your best on stage. Hopefully this is just the little enticement you need to get into the pro ranks, show up at your best, and really dazzle these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing before we close, a couple years ago, it's not BS, a couple years ago, I had a friend of mine, Dwayne, would always tell me you got to come in tighter. What was it? I think it was a North American in wherever it was. I was actually in the restroom. You were in there also with a friend of mine, and you didn't realize I was there. And you were talking to him, and you said, you know what, all he's got to do is just bring the conditioning, and the show is his. And that was just completely honest. And just hearing someone like you, who I have a lot of respect for, saying that, it was kind of like, it was great in the sense that it was great and disappointing. Great to hear that from you because I know it was honest. You weren't telling it to me. You were telling it to someone not knowing I was there. So, I appreciate that. And I, honest to God, not trying to say this because I'm talking to you, but that's one of the things that really motivate me. You saying, you know what, he just brings it, he'll win. And it's like, no one else can bring it for me. No one can do my diet. No one could diet for me. I just got to do it, did it, and,
Rudy Richards brought it tonight, and he's a new IFBB pro, and we're going to see him do some damage on a pro stage. I can guarantee it. I see it in his eyes, and we hear it from his mouth. Let's see him put action onto that stage. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Dave Palumbo, rxmuscle.com.